Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I will be casting a game sent to me by Giampy against jyoung1234. Don't know much about the game, just that it was sent in as a request on the Discord servers for one of the casters to cast, so just getting around to it. So let's jump on into it. In this game, they decided to have the contestants decided to have the free people start with 2 tokens. And the free people start with Guards of the Citadel and Dead Men of Dunharrow. Guards of the Citadel is pretty good. It's nice to have a playable card. Shadow starts with Flocks of Crebain and Monsters Roused, so middling cards, I guess I would say. Quick note for this cast. So it's a lazy Saturday afternoon here. I think I'm just going to some extent, just kind of coast through the cast here. I don't think I'm going to put a billion miles of analysis into this, but we'll see where we go. So the Fellowship is okay. 1 eye allocated. All right. And let's see what do. 2 musters for Shadow, barely. Pretty good start for the free people, I would say. Fellowship moves and is hit. Well, so much for the good start for the Fellowship. A 1 eye. Gandalf immediately trips on the doorstep of Rivendell and smacks his head. So much for that. Isengard is mustered to war. Fellowship hides with a muster. Interesting. Shadow moves all the Nazgul out. I like it. Ooh, even putting 1 on high pass. Not sure if... okay, cool. Free people wants to bring in Gandalf, but can't. Moves instead. You're not going to wait out with the tokens? The Nazgul does his job. A 0 reveal. Man, the Fellowship stolidly keeps marching towards Moria. Flocks of Crebain is played. Actually, I like it. I mean, I always want Flocks of Crebain to get more love than it does. So, that's cool. Fellowship hides again. In the Shadow, are you going to get Saruman? Yeah. Probably better that than put a reroll on the Fellowship with the Isengard Orc or Uruk there. Free people draw into Hjorns and Power 2 Great. Excellent cards. And Shadow gets Ringwraiths Are Abroad and Day Without Dawn. Wow. Good cards. Good cards for Shadow. Good cards for free. So after the first round, Shadow has moved no armies and killed Gandalf. Is really where we ended? For 2 moves? Ooh, a little slow, but we'll see. 1 eye allocated, 2 more rolled. Another will for the Fellowship, so that's nice. Free people pass, yeah. Not sure I like that. I think I would have moved anyway. Yep, okay. Draw a character card. Ooh, Gwaihir. Are you in range of crowning Aragorn? If you spend all your dice, you are. Shadow draws into Balrog. Oh, jeez. Free people move. Do you spend the Phlox? Phlox is spent. Doesn't matter. A 1 reveal into a 2. And just soaks it all. Oofta oofta. Shadow shuffles armies in the southeast. Gandalf the White is brought in. Sauron goes to war. Fellowship hides. You got to play Balrog, man. Yeah. Man, if this was my game as free people, I'd be feeling so low right now. Oh, jeez. Corruption games are tough to take as free people, but if this was my Shadow game, I'd be giddy. I'd be giggling. Wizard Staff and Aomer. I assume Wizard Staff goes. Yep. Shadow gets Cruel Weather because why not? Why not when they're right over around Moria and you can use it early since the tokens were probably going to prevent it from being as useful later. Might be good here. 2 eyes. Yeah. With 2 more rolled. Lots of Palantirs for the free people. They move first. Still hit. Holy bucks for another eye. Ow. That's awful. And then a 3. Random into Strider? Oh, okay, random into Legless. Still. Oofta. And here's the Balrog. Yep, okay, whoops. Yeah, they're not going to choose to make a deal out of it. I think that's correct. Sorry, that was a lot of dead air. As I was reading the text as it went by, use the Balrog as is obvious. Makes sense. Another 3. Soak. Really? You're at 8 corruption in Dimmerald Dale. Maybe this was a venting request instead of a casting request. Yeah, 7 tiles in 4 steps for a total of what? I think the eyes were both 1s for 11 corruption dealt. Shadow draws a character card. At this point, I guess I'd be worried as Shadow about Free People pivoting to a military victory. Just make sure you don't lose that. Elves are shuffled to war. Interesting. Okay, yeah, maybe taking a little bit of my advice. Shadow doesn't move everybody out of Moria. I would have brought... Never mind. That's fine. Armies keep shuffling over. Elves are brought 1 from war. Yep, the red tile is played. Got to get it out of your hand. Free People Ents for 3. Then Gwai here. Yep. There we go. Leaving just the 2 hobbits with Frodo in Dimmerald Dale. Maybe you just park in Lorien for forever. I wonder if that's a good argument for the Daggerlad army, the Barad-dûr/Mornon's army, going to Gondor instead of going north, because you know the Free People are going to want to crown if they can, just to have something else to tie you up. I wonder if there's a preemptive move worth making there. I don't know. Free People draws Smeagol, Hope's Nice Master, and Círdan's ships. Those are pretty good. Worn with Sorrow and Toil is a little late, so maybe we just toss that and return to Valinor/Deadly Strife. So that's pretty good. Yep. Worn with Sorrow goes away. 1 I allocated, 1 more rolled, and a billion move. At least 1 will, so you can crown. You pass. Okay, sure. The Corsairs set up Nirn to Gorgroth. Interesting. Okay. Yep, Aragorn's crowned. That does activate Gondor, but I'm assuming they'll figure that out. The king is revealed is played instantly. Oh, geez. Smeagol helps Nice Master will go in the pool. Okay. Ooh. Dol Guldur moves down, and Gorgroth goes to Moranon. Interesting. Okay. Gondor's moved down using Boromir's ability. Whoop. Okay. Yep, and the No Man's Land / Barad-dûr army turns around to help fight Gondor. Rohan is moved down using a token. Ringwraiths are abroad, shuffles a bunch of stuff around, and puts Lorien under siege. Minor mistake there. Definitely, in my mind, should have left a Sauron orc on the Fellowship in Dimmerald Dale. Not. So you can play the Devilry of Orthancs on Lorien. Free People moves and is safe for once. Unfortunately, Shadow doesn't have the capability to play Cruel Weather back into Moria, but does have the ability to go Witch King. So, and Gondor goes to war. Okay. Who would I favor at this moment? I mean, that's a lot of corruption, right? That's hard to overcome. Effective 6 corruption. Are they going to stop in Lorien? Let's find out. But 6 dice feels so good for free people. So, Challenge of the King. Hey, maybe that'll do something. And Last Battle. Mostly really good cards. And Dead Men when you have Aragorn. Oof, what do you throw there? Eomer? Ha, I'm right. Yeah. Shadow draws Dreadful Spells and Denethor's Folly. See, there's a... No, maybe the Denethor's... No, you probably won't use that on Minas Tirith with companions in it, but especially Aragorn. So that Devilry you wish you had at Lorien. And the Fellowship does declare into Lorien. Yeah, I mean, do you have a choice? I don't know. So it heals the 1 corruption. 1 eye allocated, 2 more rolled. The Shadow is rolling a lot of eyes. Wow, that's so many character dice. Start with power 2, great. Yeah. Southrons and Easterlings are moved down. Aragorn abandons his people with Gimli. Is he going to the north? While you're holding dead men? You burn a deadly strife. Why not Denethor's Folly? I guess with Aragorn gone, you might intend to use it for effect. Fascinating. Gimli starts walking home on his own, and Aragorn goes back to Minas Tirith. So the whole intent there was just to give Gimli 1 more move. Okay, never mind. He goes to Rohan. And Gandalf goes to Minas Tirith. Very non-standard game, that's for sure. Dimrildale joins up into Lorien. And Mordor bears down on Gondor. Another dice spent moving, so Gimli's made his way up to Erebor. Man, Minas Tirith is stacked. 5 leadership. But man, if you win that as Shadow, it would feel pretty good. Dead Marshes to Druid and Forest threatens putting it under siege. Gondor makes the elite in Minas Tirith, and you don't attack as Shadow? I guess you're worried about scouts? So you attack Lorien? Maybe you just want to cycle cards. For instance, Denethor's Folly. You're burning a monster's roused first. Okay. Versus a Daylight. 2 incoming, 0 outgoing. So that's nice for Shadow. Stop, draw. Interesting. Into New Powers Rising. So that could be quite good. Rohan hasn't done much. The dwarves start moving to war because of Gimli. That was a lot of dice to spend to allow for that. And Shadow draws Rage of the Dunlendings rather than playing New Power. Okay. Free people draw into File of Galadriel and Kindred of Glorfindel. An advantageous will probably help at some point. And the blue tiles, you're going to need them. Red tile for Shadow and the Fighting Uruk-hai. That might be nice for taking down Lorien with a Palantir, so you don't have to spend a different dice. Which would mean you throw Denethor's Folly here. Fellowship, of course, you kill Cruel Weather. Interesting. Fellowship declares into Lorien and heals another. 1 eye allocated. No more rolled. Is that a first this game? I think it is. And the free people continue to roll a billion character dice. New Powers Rising is played, so yep. Isengard's looking pretty scary, especially with no Gandalf and Fangorn. And there's Rage. Ooh, fun. And he's going south with it. I'm always tempted to go west just because it's so much fun to get the Northwest into the game. But maybe that's just not worth your time here. Just guarantee that you can roll right on through Rohan. File is played with a character die. Elites are upgraded in Isengard. An elite is made in Minas Tirith. Yeah, you got to get that under. You're not going to get that under siege. Oof. Fords from Orthanc. 1 hit incoming, 1 hit outgoing. Yup. Guards is played. See, now that's a scary stack. A 3-4-6 with Aragorn and Gandalf. That's pretty scary. Army consolidates in Fords, and Near Harad moves to West Harandor to prevent something. Druid Forest is attacked by the free people. Giampy, you madman. But you kind of got to be, right? You're intending to sit a whole nother round in Lorien? Interesting. I guess you're going to play a sudden strike here? Challenge of the King, I assume. Okay. Advantageous position for its effect in Druid and Forest. That's a not very often seen thing. Onslaught. Just looking to deal damage, I guess. 3 hits outgoing, 0 incoming, and then 4 onslaught for 3 hits. So 3 hits is good. Both armies stop. So you decimated your own army to have his. I mean, not even close. You have your army to take a third of his. It's probably good for Shadow, honestly. Keep that Gondor army contained. Gondor has just regulars, quote unquote, regulars and 1 more elite. Maybe that's worth it. Scary. Lorien is attacked, cycling a card. There's the cycle of devilry that I was expecting. 2 hits incoming, 2 hits outgoing, 3 hits outgoing. Yep, no press because there is no press. Druid Forest is attacked again. But if you were going to do this, why not press? I guess you were worried about a retreat. Now it's Challenge of the King. 1 hit pre, 2 hits incoming, 0 outgoing, press, and he retreats to Dead Marshes. Interesting. Lorien, cycle out a great host to make sure it happens. Cool. Get hit once for your trouble. Rohan consolidates in Westemnet, including out of Helm's Deep. Interesting. Huh. Shadow consolidates North Rune to East Rune and puts 1 man out of Moranon into Daggerlad. You're just absolutely terrified of a Free People's victory, which, to be fair, you should be. House of Stewards, unfortunately, is Boromir still hanging around? Boromir is still hanging around down here. So House of Stewards might legitimately happen in Druid Forest, which would be fun. And Celeborn's is one turn too late, but a daylight is always nice. Another red tile and Pits of Mordor. That could be very important. Do not spend that as a desperate battle in this game. Fellowship is okay. Did you heal? Oh, it's not a Free People Stronghold anymore. Okay, 1 eye allocated, 1 eye rolled. Lots of musters. You're going to make a unit in Minas Tirith and a leader in Dol Amroth. Okay. Saruman makes a orc and Dol Guldur makes an orc. Yep. Helm's Deep is put under siege with just 1 elite. Westamnet musters. You're playing pits, okay. You're playing pits for effect while Westamnet and Minas Tirith are mustering? Surely you have more important things. Moradon moves out to Daggerlad, and Umbar moves to West Harondor. Okay. But leaves behind a 5 stack in case of a siege. Okay. Gandalf and company go to Osgiliath, turning off House of Stewards. And Shadow sits armies in the Athilians, ready for a fight. Free people draw into his scouts. Southrons and Easterlings are put to war. Yep, that makes sense. West Harondor is attacked by Gandalf and company. Playing a strategy card versus no card. It's a daylight on the offense. 2 hits outgoing, 0 hits incoming. They take the elites. And leadership shuffles around. Mostly put in Fords of Isen and some in West Harondor. Very interesting. The Fellowship didn't move again. They draw at Immerhill, and I will go alone. Shadow gets Orc Patrol and many kings to the service of Mordor. That could be pretty good. You could get suddenly 6 regulars in the south, which actually looks like it might matter this game if you wanted to do it that way. 1 I allocated. I guess he's not allowing for the possibility of free people just getting a whole bunch of moves. With 6 dice, that makes sense to maybe not risk 0 eyes against 6 free people dice. Free people think and attack Helm's Deep from Westamnet. Yeah. This is what you've done by allowing the relief of that siege. The elite is killed for no effect, and now they have a full stack in Helm's Deep. 6 Southrons are recruited in the south, so that might do something. West Harondor is hit by Gandalf again, shining to turn off the Nazgul. A shield wall on the offense. 4 hits outgoing, 1 hit incoming. Stop. Those Nazgul are in a little bit of danger. Shadows gather. All right, this is an interesting time to play this. Where is East Rune coming to Daggerlad? Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we can do. West Harondor is hit again from Osgiliath. There's the 2 he needed. 1 hit incoming. No press. Or no taking the area? Really? You're just kind of tapping out Gondor's force pool, aren't you? Far Harad consolidates to Near Harad. Daggerlad consolidates to North Athilion. Gondor recruits in Minas Tirith and Rohan and Edoras. Minas Morgul moves out to South Athilion. Okay. Osgiliath is attacked from South Athilion. Shine, of course. 1 hit incoming. No cards. Oof. Versus 2 outgoing. Do you press? These are pretty wacky cards to be holding to be doing that kind of stuff. Minas Tirith makes the last Gondorian elite. Gondor has 3 regulars left and is holding dead men. Osgiliath from South Athilion. No card. Shine. No hits incoming. 2 hits outgoing. Yeah, I wouldn't press. Now we're pressing. Versus a brave stand. 1 hit incoming. 4 hits outgoing. Crazy. Now the strike back on South Athilion. They're dead for only 1 more hit. So a 0-4-6 completely eliminated 10-0. Oof. And you just muster an elite, I guess. Free people didn't... The Fellowship didn't move again. Elven Cloaks is drawn, and King Brandsman. Black Captain Commands and Horde from the East are drawn for a shadow. The Fellowship says, okay. 1 eye allocated, 2 more rolled. There's 2 wills. 1 gets spent immediately to reinforces Gileath from Minas Tirith and Iron Hills to Erebor. Okay. Man, as long as Gandalf and Aragorn don't die, you've taken all the Easterlings to the south. If the dwarves start doing something, Dol Guldur could be in serious trouble. Have to be careful there. Umbar moves out to West Horondor and consolidates with Near Horondor in West Horondor. Gandalf moves to South Ithilien, and Ered Luin moves to Evendim in the northwest. Threatening Angmar? Are we going to get a cities? Oh, okay. Instead, Pelargir goes to Osgiliath. Okay. Black Captain Commands shuffles the Witch King into Minas Morgul. Okay. West Horondor is attacked with a Shine. Shield Wall is played on the offensive. 1 hit out incoming. 2-1 hits outgoing. They retreat to East Horondor, which is a location. Whoop. If I've seen an army move there before, I don't remember it. Shadow musters an elite in Umbar. Círdan's ships is played in West Horondor. That's the thing I have seen before. It's a 2-5-6 in West Horondor. You've played a lot of the things for Shadow. The cards for like mustering. You've played many kings. You've played King is Revealed. Actually, you wouldn't mind a mustering of a long planned war here. Horde from the East. You have Horde from the East. You don't have a card dice to play it, but you could play Horde from the East in Farharad for 5 regulars. That might actually matter this game. That'd be kind of fun. Dagger Lad moves to North Ithilien. Okay. And Gandalf goes back to Osgiliath. And North Ithilien goes back to Daggerlad. I don't think that was worth it, but okay. Gandalf hits North Ithilien. No card, no card. 1 hit incoming, no hits outgoing. Yeah, and see now the back of Mordor is a little shaky. Daggerlad retreats to Morannon. Interesting. So Gondor is effectively undefended. There are 3 Gondor regulars left. And Círdan's ships is played. So Dol Amroth is near free. Minas Tirith will be near free. You just have to worry about this 3-5-6 wandering around. They get the Eagles are coming. I wonder if that'll be a heroic death. Fearfire foes. A Dread and Despair is actually really good to draw here, and a Shadow Lengthens. Surely you drop a red tile, maybe the Cruel's Death. Yep. Fellowship didn't move again. 0 eyes. Okay, now we're risking it. 1 eye rolled. That seems like a good time to risk that, and aren't punished too hard. Dead Marshes moves to Osgiliath, and East Horondor moves to West Horondor. I see the thought process, just got to be careful. Osgiliath is attacked by Gandalf. Misses, and hey, the Osgiliath orc does his thing, retreating to West Horondor. Yep, you got to take Pelargir now. Okay. Ooh, I'd be careful mustering in Isengard. Rohan's mustering in Westimnet and Edoras. Umbar is mustered. Yeah, see, just muster in Umbar or even in Barad-dûr and Morannon. Just make sure those spots have all their things. Edoras musters, yeah. Rohan's going to be a giant pain in the butt. They have 2 elites and 3 regulars left. And to be able to work through all of that, the Shadow is going to suck. Another elite in Umbar. Not sure I like that. And an elite in Edoras. Man, you got to be terrified of Path of the Wozes right now. Another elite in Umbar. And the Fellowship moves. The Fellowship is on the move, and they are safe. Okay. Warg's upgraded in Isengard, and a blue tile goes in. The Dunlands consolidate in South Dunland, and a Lorien orc, an orc from Lorien moves to Parth Celebrant. What are you doing there? Just blocking off a retake of Lorien from Rohan with all these cards you could play. Another Ents is drawn for the free people. That could matter. Book of Mazarbul. Actually, Book of Mazarbul does save you a little bit of time because Gimli is an Erebor. You throw the I Will Go Alone, I assume. Yep. And Shadow gets Nazgul Search and Corsairs. Corsairs is a pretty good pick here. I mean, Corsairs is always a good pick. What do you throw as Shadow? The red tile and Orc Patrol? Kills Orc Patrol, kills Candles of Corpses. The Dread and Despair, I think, could be pretty important. I guess maybe less so with Gandalf running around. 1 eye allocated, 1 more rolled. That's a roll for the free people. 4 characters and 2 wills. Oof. And that's a terrifying army in Westimnet. Yeah, this happens sometimes. Oop, that was 3 moves. What are we doing here? I'm assuming they didn't correct that. That was 3 moves for 1 dice. I'll assume that got noticed and corrected or something. We'll find out. Shadow takes Lossarnach and reinforces Gap of Rohan. Gandalf is on the march towards Mordor. Shadow lengthens his blade to reinforce Morannon. Oh, I like that. That's fun. You can get to Parth Celebrant from Fords of Isen. So good on Jay Young for having thought of that earlier. Minas Tirith is attacked and put under siege. East Dimnet comes back to West Dimnet. Osgiliath is reinforced, and Fangorn is, reinforced, so to speak. Fords is attacked. Nope. Just waiting. Okay, Fords is attacked from West Dimnet. No card. 1 hit outgoing on the Rohan. Looks like they had a sync issue. Press. Of course, he retreats. You just make an elite in Isengard. Why not just upgrade? And Gandalf is back in Fangorn. Interesting. Threatening Ents once again. With a Rohan army sitting there. And Aragorn is safe from the attack, along with Boromir. Okay. And Gimli abandons Erebor. Why does Gimli abandon Erebor? I'll be interested to find out. Shadow takes West Dimnet. I guess you're thinking, okay, You take Helm's Deep, you take Edoras, you take Minas Tirith. You just need 2 more, and you have Corsairs. So you're actually getting to the point where you can just race the free people for a military victory, which is nice. Stop having to run around chasing these dumb free people armies. Saruman is put under siege, which is always a fun sentence to say. Shadow takes Edoras and moves to Fords. Yeah, I'd be a little scared that Fold musters, but you don't have a lot of choices. He draws Riders of Theoden and Horn of Gondor. We're going to, Mighty Attack. I'm too used to discounting that, but I guess, no, there's no companions in battles right now. Now that I'm thinking about it, Pelargir might fall to the Dead Men. That sucks. Book of Mazarbul and Red Tile and Fear Fire Foes are all thrown away. Okay, 0 eyes allocated. Did the Fellowship move? I guess not. With 4 eyes and 4 characters and 2 wills last round, the Fellowship didn't move. So 0 eyes allocated, 1 rolled, lots of Palantirs. That's a rough roll for a free people military victory attempt. Do you start with your 1 ints? Aragorn joins up in Orthanc. Gimli's running down to help the army in Mordor. What do you do with your 1 shot here? Well, let's slow down for just a minute and think, what do you do with your shot? Do you attack Isengard for a field battle from Fords against... You've seen Hjorndark go, so you know all the cards that are left for the free people are offensive. All the end cards are offensive. The +2 damage would suck here, but the +2 to the combat roll wouldn't matter a whole ton. I think you gotta, right? You can't just let him attack Isengard. Yep. Helm's Deep. Okay, we'll just race. Orthanc is attacked. Mighty Attack is played. 4 hits total. 1 hit outgoing. Press. There's the Ents Rage. 3 total hits. Yep. 1 hit outgoing. Wow, this Orthanc is just pitiful. Press, and there goes the Black Tower, the Tower of Orthanc, has fallen to Aragorn, Boromir, and Rohan army. In turn, Helm's Deep puts up a fight, forcing 2 presses before the 1 hit. Thankfully, nothing else. So, okay. And of course, there's Fold mustering. So, Shadow's at 6. It's a kind of tenuous 6. You gonna hit MT? Yep, there's MT. Miss again. Pass. Draw musterings of a long-planned war and throw Wormtongue. Yeah. Play Olaghai into Edoras. I don't know about that, but okay. The dwarves move down the political track. All right. Minas Tirith is attacked. Yep, man, if only there was an elite there with Olaghai. Free People draws a character card, and they apparently meant to draw a strategy card, so we'll assume that they did that. Yep, just misclick. Yep, that's fine. Shadow, you gonna Corsairs? Musterings of Long Planned War. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. The dwarves are now at war. All right. And Shadow draws a character card. I wouldn't have gone with a character card there. If you're looking to race the free people for a military victory, I would have thought you need strategy cards, but okay. Crazy game. Crazy game. Assume we're... the Brave Stand might be good. Thranduil's probably not so much, but I guess it's a free people military victory attempt, so maybe Valor is of some worth. advantageous position is thrown. Okay, that makes sense. Shadow absolutely should hold on to Orcs Multiplying again in case Dol Guldur gets attacked. Honestly, this Dagger Lad army, and with the Dwarves at war, Dol Guldur is in some serious danger, as is to a much lesser extent Lorien. What do you throw? Lord of the Ring. Okay. Free people declare sideways. 0 eyes allocated. Yep. Saruman's dead. Lose that die. Yep. 1 eye allocated. 1 eye. 0 eyes allocated. 1 eye rolled. There's 3 Wills of the West. You abandon Dol Amroth to attack Pelargir. Okay. And then we Day Without Dawn. Yep. Can't have any of that. Talk about the luck of the cards. Minas Tirith is attacked. You burn the Orcs Multiplying again. And Onslaught for 4. Holy buckets, man. Well, okay. You're holding Corsairs. This is almost certainly the game. Pelargir's attacked. No hits. One back on. Press. Heroic Death. Okay, Pelargir's retaken. Game is extended. Maybe. Whoa. Why are you leaving? I guess you're worried about the mustering? Interesting. Move Nazgul around. You didn't have any leadership, so okay. Oop. Free people draw through a day and a night. That's dangerous. You muster in Umbar. Sure. Isn't Dol Guldur? Oh, a scouts out of Pelargir would be scary. So I don't mind that. An elite in Erebor. Dol Amroth is attacked and deadly strifed into the ground. Shadow sits at 9 points. Free people at 2. Ooh. Gonna be a tight one for the free people. They way overdraw. Do you keep Bilbo's Song here? I mean, are you even hoping for a free people? You can't hope for a corruption victory or a dunk, right? Yep, you throw Bilbo's Song and a scouts. Ooh. Shadow draws Palantir of Orthanc, which can no longer be played, and Shadows of the Misty Mountains, which is nice. 1 eye allocated, 0 eyes allocated, 2 eyes rolled. Decent roll for a Free People's military victory attempt. Thinks about life. Through a day and a night. So there's Gimli doing his bit. Dol Guldur is threatened. Okay, we're gonna pause for a minute. I've been moving pretty fast, which is good because this is turn 14 of this game, for crying out loud. Free people is threatening. 1 die to attack Dol Guldur, 1 die to take, so they have 3 dice left. Maybe they retake Edoras, forwards Westamnet Edoras to extend the game again. So what do you do as Shadow? To prevent the victory. I mean, you half move to Lamadon. You have several musters that you're not doing anything with. You can muster into Dol Guldur, I guess. Yeah. Dol Guldur is put under. You move to Fords. All right. Yep. Dol Guldur is attacked. There's the Valor doing its thing. 2 hits incoming, 1 hit outgoing. Press. No quarter. And Dol Guldur falls with kind of a splat. Pelargir is attacked with a cycle and falls. So it's 10v4. Can the free people? Yep, they take draw a strategy card, get an advantageous position. You just put all your Nazgul in Fords? Okay. And one in Edoras in Fords makes sense. And we're going to Deadman, aren't we? Aragorn moves over to East Emnet with Gandalf, Boromir, and Gimli. Sure. You're about... No. You abandon Pelargir. Dwarven Elite is made in Erebor, but he's waited you out. You think you have the game, but no. Here's the dead men. You get 3 hits taken on you. Did you take the 3 hits? Where are we saying? Oh, yeah, the free people win. Yeah, free people win. Oh, jeez. Tough one for Shadow. Felt so good early, but free people on 6 dice is rough. Oof. Well, that was a fun game. I'm glad. Thank you for sending it over. Giampy says the Shadow was -10 on 6s. Yeah, that was not ideal. Fun game. Got to do a lot of fun little silly things. You don't get to see Rohan taking Orthanc all that often. Fun. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you, Giampy, for sending this one in, and thank you, Jay Young, for allowing, for having your game be cast as well. That's it for this one. See y'all in the next one. Bye.